Today is, unfortunately, in some ways, the finale of Season 1. This is an original story of mine, Lincoln's World Chapter 1, and I hope you'll enjoy it, man. Let's get started.
Come here, boy, my circles are aching, and all day to run after your sorry hide. Just give up.
If I'm being perfectly honest, that was exactly what I wanted to do. But if I wanted to get out of here, I needed to keep moving. My thoughts led me back to what that weird robotic security guard had told me. In this place, there's only one rule. Run. No matter how tired you get, no matter what gets in your way or what they do, you just have to keep running. Can you promise me that? That was a promise I was no longer sure if I was going to be able to keep. In just less than half of an hour, I had run the equivalent of 4 miles. Despite the lack of exercise, I was still running strong. I looked ahead to see a dead end rushing towards me. I made a left and went down an even narrower hallway than I had ever seen before. I could hear the monster that was chasing me, newsflash, ran into the hall. Once again, the guy's massive size worked against him.
No, you're miscreant. Where'd your tentacles on you? Ow, you're already gone, aren't you?
I ran down the hall and turned to new ones a few times before I decided I could finally take a pause. I know the robot dude said not to stop running, but if I was going to keep running in the long term, I would need this break. I sat down on a chair and put my hands on my head and my thoughts. How did all this go so wrong so fast? I decided to rethink the entire series of events that led me here. It was painful to think about, but it was necessary. From what I can gather, I have only been here for about an hour, maybe 2. I was in Lincoln's World. I was, at one point, a pretty decent blogger. Unfortunately, I was completely unprepared for the new wave of younger bloggers that would take the internet by storm. They were all so aggressive, making it incredibly difficult to compete for fans. I originally had been doing videos on a video game called The Fabs 5, but it went out of popularity. I now was forced to do videos I didn't even enjoy just so I could make a living. It made me take unnecessary risks, like this one. I decided to break into the current under construction Lincoln's World. Lincoln's World was an offshoot/update version of an older theme park called Lincoln's Land. Not much on originality, were they? In any case, Lincoln's Land shut down in 2002. It had been only operating for 3 years at that point. The founder of the park, Jarvis Lincoln, was devastated. Just 2 years ago, all of a sudden, he returns, promising to resurrect his old park into something new. Into Lincoln's World. 2 years have gone by and it's still under construction, with no new updates in the last 6 months. People want to know what Lincoln was planning behind closed doors, making it the perfect video. So, I sneaked into the construction site. It looks like a normal construction site, but behind all the barbed wire, I could see what looked like a roller coaster and amazing attractions. Of course, they were all still under construction, but it would be something. As I prepared to walk in, I heard something. It sounded like a wheelchair or something. I turned to see some kind of security guard-themed animatronic operating on one wheel, heading right towards me. I immediately thought the worst. I ducked, hoping that would save me. Before the animatronic even hit me, it just stopped, inches away. I opened my eyes to see the animatronic looking directly at me. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" it asked, aggressively. I dared to stand back up and began thinking about my response. I couldn't come up with a decent lie that might fool this guy, so I decided to go with the truth. I was sure the animatronic wouldn't mind. "I'm a YouTuber." The animatronic just stood there, waiting for more details. A part of me wanted to try lying for my next response, but decided I didn't have anything good up my sleeve, so I went with the truth again. "I'm trying to get into the park so I could post a video about it," I admitted. The animatronic's face lit up. It looked at the barbed wire, to me, the wire, then finally back to me again. "As in, you're planning to go inside the park?" asked the animatronic. I quietly said yes. The animatronic turned stone-faced. "I'm sorry, I can't let you in the park. It's park policy, currently. Come back in 2026 when we're officially open. stammered the animatronic. I wasn't taking no for an answer, though. I desperately needed the content. I pushed the animatronic aside. Off balance, the animatronic went every which way, trying to regain it. It fell hard on its left side. I felt a little bad, but couldn't worry about that now. Lincoln's world awaits. As I began to walk through a hole in the barbed wire, I could have sworn the animatronic had said something. "Don't go in there, please!" I decided not to worry about it, though, and walked in. As I walked in through the half-constructed park, I could see many things. There were what looked like a half a dozen rides that still needed paint, a whole dozen that still looked under construction. I also saw a few buildings that looked like they were being saved for restaurants and shops. I instantly started recording, getting every bit of detail I could. The camera I used was admittedly old and practically outdated, but it was all I could afford, and it did its job. "Sup, peeps," I said. "Welcome to another video made by yours truly. We are currently inside the not-so-finished product of Lincoln's World." I hated how I talked in that clip. Heck, I hated every clip I did. I never talked like my usual self, my calm and chill self. Not this jerk who appeared on camera. It was what I had to do, though, if I wanted to get the views. Halfway through my spiel, I saw something in the corner of my eye. I looked to see a light coming from one of the buildings. Score, I thought. I carefully walked up to the building. The door to it was slightly opened. The door had a sign on it that read security room. I was honestly confused. The park wasn't even finished, and they had a security office? It felt like something my fans would like to see, so I went in. What a mistake that was. I walked into the office. I saw a lot of scattered bits of metal and trash throughout the office. It gave me this weird feel that something wasn't right. I turned the corner to see something I couldn't comprehend. There was something at the security desk, but they weren't human. From what I could tell, it was some kind of animatronic that was bigger than the previous. He was looking at least 3 dozen cameras. I saw what looked like its head turn to look at a camera. It jumped out of its seat. I looked at the camera to see me on it. I looked in the far right corner next to see a small camera lashed to the wall. I looked back at the animatronic, who was now looking at me.
"Hiya, kid, what you doing here?"
This animatronic was far creepier than the previous. It had a long, skinny body of tentacles for hands and wore a polo shirt, I think. The creepiest thing about it, though, was its head. It looked like a giant television strapped to it, and the screen had a frightening face on it. I gulped. What had I walked into? Hi? I stammered. The animatronic smiled. At least I think he did. Either way, it was creepy. He curved his head like he was trying to look at me from a different angle. I knew right then and there that this whole thing was a mistake. I quickly ran to the door, hoping I could just run out of the park. Unfortunately, this animatronic was faster than it looked. It quickly jumped to the door, closed it, and squeezed the handle of its tentacles.
Whoa, kid! You just got here. Don't leave so soon."
I just stood there terrified. What in the world was this thing? Who are you? I dared ask. The animatronic smiled, like he had been waiting for me to ask it.
Thank you. No one has ever asked me that question. Ever. Well, no one alive, anyway.
My stomach plummeted. The sky was giving me real horror movie vibes. I looked around the room, trying to find another way out.
Don't waste your time, kid. This final door was the only way out of this nice, cozy little room I call home. Now, where was I?
As much as I didn't want to listen to this guy, let alone look at him, at the time it might have been my only way to freedom.
My name is Newsflash, and I'm the proud security guard of this fine establishment.
I stood there a little confused. This guy didn't look like a security guard. Heck, even the previous animatronic could have been one. He had the uniform and everything. What about the animatronic outside? The one in the actual security outfit, I countered. An expression of shock crossed Newsflash's screen, but he quickly tried to hide it. I clearly had struck a nerve.
Animatronic in a security uniform, you say? To a very serious voice. You! Get out of here! Go on, get!
Newsflash mimicked. I casually nodded my head. Newsflash's smile twitched. He looked to the ground for a sec like he wasn't sure how to respond.
I see. Well, I saw Silas Security. He used to be the security guard for this place, but well, he got, what's the word, outdated. So, Mr. Lincoln had him fired, and replaced him with yours truly. I could have sworn me that guy bite the dust a few weeks ago. Now I'm gonna have to shred him to pieces all over again.
I hung onto every word. This Newsflash guy was freaking me out and giving me big serial killer vibes. Maybe this is why this Silas Security tried to keep me out. Wow! Cool story, bro. Now, I need to go now, but I'm sure my fans will love you, as I said as I backed away. Newsflash, once again, I had a face of surprise.
Wait. Did you say fans? F-A-N-S?
Newsflash's head extended to mine to the point where his screen was right in my face. Yes? His eyes jumped. He looked down to my camera that I was holding. His eyes twitched a bit before he went back to me.
You mean you're recording this entire conversation?
I honestly had forgotten I had been. I had been so distracted by Newsflash that I had completely forgotten about my camera. I quickly pressed the record button and stuffed it in my pocket. Oh! I guess I have been. My bad. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, kid, this is what I'm gonna have to do here. I probably was already gonna have to waste you anyway for breaking and entering, but now that you know that old style security is still kicking, or rolling as the case may be, I can't afford not to.
Serial killer vibes. Called it.
And I'll probably also have to waste your wonderful fun as well, due to all the lore I just absorbed. Now, what do you want to go first? You or the phone? It makes absolutely no difference to me, but if you have a preference for some reason...
I honestly didn't know what to do. Then I realized he was no longer guarding the door. You know, I want option 3 to go first, I said. Newsflash's eyes lit up confused. I quickly ducked under Newsflash and made a beeline for the door. He quickly turned his head around to see this. He may have honestly yelped, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. Despite the busted handle, I was still able to get through and run out of the security room. I could hear Newsflash trying to get through the door, yelling as he went.
You think you're so smart, don't you, kid? Well, just you wait, I'll show you smart.
I then snapped out of my memory and realized something. Newsflash had never said that. That's when it dawned on me. I looked around the room and then saw Newsflash trying to get out of an air vent.
Why are these air vents so dang small? Ugh.
Newsflash had finally caught back up with me. I immediately picked myself up and began running down the hall once more. As I did, I could hear Newsflash fall onto the ground out of the air vent. It sounded painful.
This isn't over, kid. You hear me? You hear me? You just keep on running. It won't help you. I'll make sure of that.
That's right. All I can do is run. If that's all I can do, then I'll make it count. I began running faster and faster. I was never going to stop running, no matter what. No matter how long, I will keep running. And there we have it. We have the first chapter of my original story, Lincoln's World, which we'll get a sequel at some point. I'm not sure when. I need to figure out what that will be, but that will happen. As for the FNAF videos I did earlier, they'll get a sequel at some point. Probably not anytime soon, though. I am currently working on Season 2 of this channel, which will be airing during/around the time that winter break should be happening for all of you guys in America. But in any case, that is a work in progress, but it has the current title of The Oni Apocalypse. We'll see if that sticks. Well, just kind of see what happens in the next few weeks. But in any case, thank you all for watching in the last few videos. And please like and subscribe, and see you next time.